Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft discussion today. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I'm all about becoming the boss of your brain, right? That's what Minecraft is about. Realizing that our thoughts come first, feelings second, and then actions or behavior last. Okay, and it's just such an important deal to get a grip on your thoughts, because this is how we learn how to create, and then live our best life. That's just how it is. So today I want to talk about how completely useless the emotion of guilt is. And it has a job. It has a job which is important, which keeps us from, spreading vicious rumors and punching somebody in the schnozy. That's sort of what it's for, right? It's an action word. But after that, by the way, I'm growing salsa. I'm growing salsa. Yeah, tomatoes are down there. I'm actually not much of a gardener, but I keep giving it a try. I think that's the definition of insanity, right? Trying something over and over, see, But it usually looks good in June. Anyway, so that's my salsa. So guilt is a useless, just waste of emotion. Awful. So remember that guilt is an action word, right? That keeps us from doing bad things to people. And it has the message of, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. And guilt plays a big role in our lives because of that. And unfortunately, people also use it. And we use it on ourselves. And people use it to get us to do things. I'll get to that in a second. So it's useless mainly because it keeps us in this, bugs, here we go again. It keeps us in this trap of the past. Think about it. We can't feel guilty about the future, right? Can't feel guilty about the future. No, we feel guilty about the past. We're feeling guilty about the past. It means we're thinking about the past. Remember, thoughts come first, feelings second, actions or behavior last. So, which means if we're thinking about the past, we're bringing back motion from the past. We're therefore not in the present, which means that guilt is a huge thief of our life minutes. Big, fat thief of life minutes. And so we need to just let stuff go, because all the thinking about the past in the world, all the feeling sad and bad and whatever in the whole world for whatever you did, even if you did do something hurtful, all that feeling bad and self-punishment that you're into isn't going to change whatever happened. It's over. The past it's over. So all the woulda, shoulda, coulda-ing isn't going to work. And it takes us out of the valuable now. It also keeps us from making changes, and doing something proactive about whatever it is you did that you feel badly for. So instead of feeling badly, which isn't going to help anyway, really it's so important to just let it go, because it's a complete waste of emotion. What else did I write about? I made just a couple of notes. I don't usually do that, but sometimes I need to. So yeah, guilt keeps us in the past. It's like battery acid. It just like corrupts. It corrupts our now moments, our life minutes. And there remember, also, we get into, I failed, my mistakes. I was actually just having a chat about this with one of our son's friends at his wedding, actually. Not on the deep level like this, but we got into talking about mistakes and failures, and I just kind of, said I don't believe in mistakes or failures. It's just kind of, just for me, that isn't how I roll, because I used to roll that way, but not anymore. Because really, and Wayne Dyer helped, one of my great teachers, help with this, because Wayne Dyer says, there are no mistakes or failures. Oprah also says it, because it's just our actions producing results. Really, we do whatever, good, bad, anywhere in between. It's just they produce results. So rather than labeling these as mistakes and failures, instead of just actions that we produce by our thoughts and then feelings, because right there last, maybe just looking at it like, okay, results, and then work with that, change that, stay with that if it's working or whatever. It's just better. And people often, try to use guilt because it works, honestly, until you kind of catch on and make a change. And the reason it works is guilt can be very, very directly related to shame, which is different, right? Guilt says, I made a mistake, whereas shame says, I am the mistake. I am the mistake. And in my opinion, the most toxic human emotion we can feel. And if we could kind of eradicate it off the face of the earth, I think we would have very few problems, to be honest with you. So the spiritual and emotional equivalent of drinking turpentine for breakfast instead of orange juice, that's what shame is. And so the guilt link to shame, that is why it works for partners and families and No, you go ahead and just sit right there. I'll go stack the 3 cords of wood by myself. Never mind my sciatica. And you just sit right there. And they're like, oh God. You can picture the person like falling down in pain, and so we get up and no, okay, all right, and it works. And school systems definitely use it. Churches and different religions definitely use it. Workplace, it's used to. Colleagues sometimes might do it. No, it's okay. I got it. I'll take on doing all of this over the weekend. Or like, oh, nope, okay, I'll come in on a Sunday. Fine. When you were supposed to be with your family going on a hike or whatever. And they'll do it until you kind of say to stop. So either if you can make just make a statement, and we're saying with honesty and kindness. My good friend Father Mike used to say that you've got to say what's on your mind. You've got to say how you feel, just as long as it's with honesty and kindness. Otherwise you like implode or something. So you can just say, you know what, I realize you wished that I chose a different career, mom or dad and dad or whoever. I realize, or maybe if you're younger, I realize you don't like how I self-express with my clothing, or with I'm all inked up, or I'm pierced and I'm all of that or whatever. But here's the thing, this is my life and I'm going to live it. So, that's just know that that's not going to work on me anymore. But how I should really take over, mom's business or dad's business, because that just isn't for me. And if it's something else where somebody's trying to manipulate who you hang out with or whatever, you just got to realize that, I just say my choice making with my friendships or whatever, that's going to stay. So, you might want to work through that kind of thing. And then, and if that isn't going to work for you, one thing I like to do in general, and it doesn't always work, sometimes you have to be bold, it depends on the situation, right, is to be quietly effective. When that manipulator, which is what they are, when they're using guilt to try to get you to do things. I mean, they might not always be a manipulator, but that behavior in and of itself is manipulating, is be quietly effective, because the only reason they're still doing it is because it's working. Because human beings don't do anything unless there's payoff in it. Whether it's an actual paycheck, whether it's seeking out external approval, which we've talked a lot about, and it feels good temporarily. Whatever it is that we're trying to do, there's payoff in it, or we would cease to do it. So, and psychologically speaking, just like with a whining 3-year-old, the fastest way to extinguish any behavior, whether the 3, 23, 33, 40, 43, or 103, is to ignore it. And I'm not saying it's easy. Remember, there's simple and there's easy. It can be very hard to ignore a screaming toddler on a busy Saturday in a Price Chopper or wherever your grocery store is. But honestly, that's the best way to do it. The faster you ignore them, they'll get it. You're in charge, and it will stop. Absolutely. Again, didn't say it was easy. It's not different with a manipulative parent, or a grandparent, or whatever. Is just to ignore it. If it ceases to work, they will cease to do it. And the big thing is not to let it bother you. Do the best you can not to let it bother you. If it really does bother you, then you can go the fake it till you make it route and pretend like it doesn't bother you, okay? Because that is truly the best way to deal with, avoiding the guilt trap thing. And the same thing with yourself, okay? So that's other people doing it to you, and we do it to ourselves. So the best way is to go in and self-talk. Now that you realize the guilt trap is about living in the past, which is over and done, it's water under the bridge, literally over, that you're losing your now to then and corrupting these life minutes, which will then be like battery acid on your future life minutes, because you're going to keep bringing that stuff with you along your path. No good, just no good. Guilt is a entirely useless waste of emotion. Once you get whatever you did was wrong, okay, do what you can to, apologize, fix the best you can, and then realize you're human and let that shit go, okay? All right, this is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.